Hello there, welcome to writing class. This is an IELTS bar chart and this is a band 9 essay. I'll show you how you can write a better essay just by using a bar chart. So let's see what are the things are given over here. See, the chart below shows the expenditure of two countries on consumer goods in 2010. See over here, it is about the expenditure, how their countries, two countries are given here. One is France and one is UK. So, see the color, the orange one is UK and the blue one is France. So, here this bar chart shows the expenditure of how they spend their money, simply that way. Two countries on consumer goods. Let's see what all are the consumer goods are given here. First is cars, second computer, third books, fourth perfume, and fifth one is camera. See, 5 consumer items expenditure on a period of 2010 by two countries, France and UK. So this is all about these two countries over a year of 2010. I think you understood this basic concept of this bar chart. And here it is given how they spend their money, how much they spend on particular items. So this is given in UK, it is pound or sterling. So it is given in pounds. So you understood. Now what we are going to do, we are going to see the major trends. So when you write an IELTS bar chart, you have to mention the major changes in your bar chart. Major changes, especially see the changes over here. This is almost everywhere. This orange one, I mean the UK one is higher, right? See, here this is the only part where it is shows somewhat similar. It is means comparatively similar pattern, but wherever we see there you can see the increased expenditure on various consumer goods. So you understood this one, especially in cars. Computers, see, the France is higher as compared to UK. In books, you see the France is lower, but the UK is higher. See, perfume, see how much this almost 4 lakhs 50,000 pounds was the maximum, right? See, but compared to the perfume, see how much they have, these two countries have spent. So these all are the trends in this bar chart. So let's see how you can write this bar chart in a better manner. I mean where you will get a band and essays. Let's see how. See, I have written a sample essay over here. I mean task 1. Let's see. The chart illustrates. See, whenever you want to write something, in order to show something, instead of the chart shows is an informal word. So instead of shows, write illustrates. The chart illustrates the amount of money spent on 5 consumer goods. See, my first point I have mentioned over here, 5 consumer goods: cars, computers, books, perfume and cameras in France and the UK in 2010. Units are measured in pounds. Either you can write pounds or sterling. I have written both over here. See, the major trend I have written over here. See, I have mentioned what this whole chart is, bar chart is all about. From someone who reads this, my first introduction paragraph, they will clearly understand there are two countries and there are 5 consumer goods and the year of 2010 and the units are measured in pounds and sterling. So when you write an essay, especially in task 1, your idea should be clearly mentioned in your introduction paragraph. That cost you a lot of marks. So it is very important to understand the basic concept of writing your introduction in task 1. So this is the best example you can practice in your IELTS exam. So let's see the next paragraph, how you can write. See, this is the general trend. So we are going to speak about overall the UK spent more money on consumer goods than France in the period given. See the figure over here. It is mentioned that the UK spent a lot of money on consumer goods. You understood? So that means if you compare the France, UK has spent a lot of money on consumer goods. Both the British and the French spent most of their money on cars, whereas the least amount of money was spent on perfume in the UK compared to cameras in France. See the sentence over here, both. So I am going to talk about the whole idea of both the countries. So both the British and the French. You understood the paragraphs, I mean the sentence start with both. Both the British and the French spend. How they spend? Most. Understand? See, I have used the word over here most means the general trend I am going to mention over here. That's why I used the most. See, both the British and the French spend most of their money on cars. See, they have spent a lot of money. As I have mentioned, it's a trend. It shows most of their money is spent on cars. See over here, other trends, if you see, everything is lower, but cars, they have spent a lot of money. So I have mentioned the trend over here, most of their money on cars, whereas if I am going to speak something other than this cars. So that's why I have used the word over here as whereas. The least amount. See, this is the most and this is the least. Understood? Least amount of money was spent on perfumes in the UK compared to camera in France. See how many ideas I have communicated in a single sentence. So in your IELTS writing, it is always best to you compare your ideas or compare the data, how these both countries spend their money, how the most of their money is spent or how the least money is spent. So when the examiner sees such comparison, you are going to get a better score. So next time when you write your IELTS writing, it is always use some comparison. Here I have used whereas, you can use in comparison to, in contrast to. So you can use many synonyms over here. So see, the least amount, the least amount was spent on perfumes. So understood this sentence. So this two sentence gives a lot of understanding about this bar chart. And see, furthermore, so I have used one more connective. Over here it is furthermore. You can use moreover, besides, any other connectives or any connectors you can use over here, but I have used furthermore. The most significant difference in expenditure between the two countries was on cameras. So this is the striking trend. This is the very clear-cut trend you can see from the bar chart. It states about the most significant difference in expenditure is between these two countries was on cameras. As you can see, even if you don't know anything about bar chart, but see the difference. This is a huge difference. You can see how much this cost and how much this cost. How is the height? See this. UK spend a lot of money on cameras, whereas the France spend very least amount on cameras. See the difference is very clear cut. So try to find out some difference like this in your bar charts that give you more weightage to your scores. So this way we have covered the second paragraph. So you understood this part. Overall, the UK spent more money on consumer goods than France in the period given. Both the British and the French spent most of their money on cars, whereas the least amount of money was spent on perfume in the UK compared to cameras in France. Furthermore, the most significant difference in expenditure between the two countries was on cameras. So you got it. We'll move to the next. Now we will see, we have seen the overall idea of the bar graph over first two paragraphs. I mean introduction and the body. Now we have to move to more details, in the sense that now we have to mention exactly how much they have spent and what all are the items they have spent. So in this paragraph, let's see how we can write on that. In terms of cars, I am going to talk about the cars. People in the UK spend about £450,000 on this as opposed to See, I have used a connector over here opposed to the French at 4 lakhs pounds or 4 lakhs pounds. See the sentence over here. Before I have said that whenever you use some data, always you compare. If you compare within a single sentence, you can comprehend your idea better. So it is always best that way. See, I have used the cars. Let's see the diagram. See, in the cars I have used how much is, this is 4 lakhs pounds, this is 4 lakh 50,000 pounds. This is a huge difference between 50,000 pounds difference you can see over here. So that was my first sentence. So try to find out the difference. This difference is negligent. This difference we have already talked, so we don't have to talk. And other differences are not much negligent, but let's start from here. So I have talked about the cars. And let's move to this part. So I have completed my first sentence. Second sentence, similarly, the British expenditure was higher on books than the French, around 4 lakhs pounds and 3 lakhs pounds respectively. How I have written over here, see, the same trend is following here. So that's why I have used similarly. Similar trends you can see in British and French. Similarly, like this way, you use some connectives over here. The British expenditure was higher on books than French. So next I have used the books. So see, I have written the data around 4 lakhs pounds and 3 lakhs pounds respectively. So if you want to use two data, I mean in the sense that two amounts, you can use the word respectively. That is the most commonly used word in your task 1 writing. You can use as well this one, and this is going to give you more marks in your task 1. So next time when you write, use these connectors as well as you use comparison along with some data. If you are going to use the two data, use some words like respectively. Rather than making it in a more complex sentence, this sentence looks very simple. Always try to use a simple sentence with your vocabulary. So in the UK, expenditure on cameras. So instead of writing my amount, I mean how much they have spent on the camera, I have written over here in brackets just over 3,50,000 pounds, was over double that of France. See how I have used a single sentence, was over double that of France. Here also I have used comparison, which was only 1,50,000. See, here the rate is 3 lakhs and just double of France. 1,50,000 double of France. It is 3 lakhs. So you understood. See how I have compared. So as you can see this in paragraph over here, I have used exactly how you can compare your data and how you can exactly compare different amounts of your expenditure or different data over here with use of very effective vocabulary. If you really try to use such kind of vocabulary in your writing, you are going to get benefited. I can assure you that. So let's move on to the what is the conclusion we can write over here. One thing I would like to mention over here is that you do not have exact conclusion you can write in your bar chart or in your task 1, but in contrast with your task 2, where you can write a clear-cut conclusion. But here you can't say exactly because they have given just for a 2010 amount, so expenditure amount. So we can't say we can't predict as well also. So just see, on the other hand, the amount of money paid out on the remaining goods was higher in France. So my conclusion, whatever the things are remaining goods, how much they have spent, that was much higher in France as compared to the UK. About 3,50,000 pounds was spent by the French on computers, which was slightly more than the British, who spent exactly 3,50,000 pounds. See the things. On the other hand, so I was going to talk about some other idea rather than this one. That's why I have used, you can use besides, apart from this, in addition to, you can use any words over here. This is my own personal preference. That's why I have used here. You can use any words. So use this way. Above 3,50,000 pounds was spent by the French on computers, which was slightly more than. Again, I have used another word in comparison, was slightly more than the British, who spent exactly 3,50,000 pounds. Neither of the countries bet. See, again I am going to use the comparison with the use of neither. Neither means none. None. Instead of saying no or none, you can use neither, because why I am going to say, if you check the bar chart over here, in perfume you do not have any clear cut significance, because both almost all the data is significantly similar. So, and that is comparatively much lesser as compared to the other consumer goods. So I have used neither of the countries. Both of the countries, they didn't spend much on the perfume. That's why I have written over here, which accounted for 2 lakhs pounds for expenditure in France, but under 1,50,000 pounds in the UK. So clearly I have mentioned that if you compare this both the trends in UK and France, with regard to the expenditure on the perfume, it was much lesser, and it is very negligent amount. So I didn't mention exactly. So this was the least bothered data. That's why I have kept it in the last sentence. So I hope this is the conclusion. You understood this part very well. So the extra tip is that whenever you are going to write your task 1 essay, always choose comparison. Always, if it is between two countries or between different products or whatever the data may be, always use compare and contrast. Compare and contrast. That is the best way you can score more marks. This is the same way I have got the scores for such kind of essays. So try to practice these essays, and you are going to score well. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.